Hey guys, we are at Iron Street, which is where Sovereign Grace Church Parramatta meet, and I've got some exciting news for you, and that's to let you know, drumroll, that Riley Spring is our new Sovereign Grace Australia National Director. It's a role that I've done since we kind of planted in June 2010. But as things have changed and things have grown, I wanted to explain to you why I think it was the right time to move this over to Riley. First of all, as Global Missions Director for Sovereign Grace Churches, already looking after lots of countries, it's hard to do that and be the lead pastor of Sovereign Grace Church Wahroonga and serve in an Australia context and do all those roles well. So I knew something needed to give. Secondarily, I think when it comes to Australia, I am clearly British. My voice is very British and I think British, and although I have an Australian passport, I will always be a POM here. Yes. Which I think in many ways, when you're thinking about Australia, it is probably a bit of a weakness in a sense. And the third thing on my heart was I just think the time is right for this guy to be doing it. I think what the Lord has equipped him with, gifted him with, I think Riley Spring is the man to help move Sovereign Grace Churches Australia forward. So Riley, how do you feel about that? What have you... How is this landing on you?
Yeah, well, it's exciting. It's daunting. I'm glad that I'm not just being given this role and then you're chuffing off somewhere else. I'm glad that we get to work on it together, and you get to be my global missions director.
Yes, still here to mentor you.
So that'll be good. I'm excited, and the vision for Sovereign Grace Churches is that we want to plant and strengthen churches all across Australia. And if I can give any time to helping make that happen, that's a joy, that's a privilege. And in that planting and strengthening, there's two kind of things to the role. Firstly, always wanting us as Sovereign Grace Churches Australia to be looking, how can we be spreading the gospel further and further and to different places all across Australia. Currently we have 2 churches here in Sydney, Parramatta and Wahroonga, but our hope is over 100 years there will be Sovereign Grace churches all over the country. Not because we want to have a franchise in every city, but because we want to see the gospel planted. We want to see new people come to know Christ. We want to see pastors and teams trained up for the sake and the cause of Christ and to go out in risk and in sacrifice. And so I want to give vision and energy and leadership to making that happen. And secondarily, we want to strengthen churches. We don't want to just be all about starting things and then who knows what happens to them. We want to strengthen them. And so part of my role is going to be involved in caring at the moment for our 2 churches and the pastoral teams. Also connecting our churches together with various events and training and creating pathways and leadership development. And also looking to see how we can raise up the future leaders as well, and within our 2 churches and then beyond. The third element, which isn't kind of part of the plant and strengthen, is just the role of the national leader to be involved in external organisations, seeing what the Lord is doing all across Australia, outside of Sydney, outside of New South Wales. So connecting with various organisations, church planting groups, missional groups, training groups, getting to know them, build friendships, see which ones work and which ones aren't a great fit for us. So that's going to be part of my role as well, which is going to be fun.
Awesome. That's great, man. But in truth, although this is a new role we'll just do it from today.
Yeah. Fine.
Right now.
Right now. Here we go.
In reality, we've been transitioning for some time, passing this role on to Riley. And so he's been for some time really just using energy and leadership into this space. So talk to us about this year. What are some of the things we've got coming up to help us grow and be strengthened here in Australia?
Well, already this year, Brendan and I went down to Melbourne to be part of our a national denominational leaders day with a group called Exponential, who's a church planting multiplication group. So we went down there to hang out with them, see what they're on about. And then this year we've got lots of things planned. As you know, we have Bob Coughlin and David Zimmer coming out in April and May. Bob Coughlin leads Sovereign Grace Music. He is a wonderful pastor and a
He
dear...
might need me on piano at one point.
Or me. You never know.
Well, there's a thought.
Yeah, that I would need Bob's gifting to be transferred to me.
Transferred.
Yeah. And they're coming out, so that we're going to do Gathering Around the Gospel, which is basically a concert with Bob leading us in worship and a chance for us to glory in Jesus. That's April 28. Then that week, David and Bob are going to lead one of their Worship Matters intensives. We've got people coming from Philippines. We've got people coming from
Amazing.
Japan.
Yep.
And Perth. You know, of all the far-flung places.
3 different
Perth.
countries, right?
Yeah,
there.
basically.
Perth, Philippines.
I don't know how he's getting out of that border, but he's getting out.
He's getting out.
And then we've got people from Sydney joining. So it's not just for Sovereign Grace pastors, it's from people literally all over the world at this point. And then in July, we have our Together conference where we've invited Jeff Purswell. He's the Director of Theology, the Dean of the Pastors College, pastor in Louisville.
Be great.
Again, a dear friend of ours.
Yes.
An incredible preacher. And he's bringing Julie, his wife. And so they're going to be there for Together conference. So make sure you register for that. And then one extra thing that you might not know about is we have a couple who are currently in the Pastors College, Austin and Emma, who are excited and believe the Lord's put on their heart to come to Australia and to be involved in pastoring and church planting and mission work. They're a young couple and they are keen to serve the Lord. And so we're bringing them out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks in June and July, just to experiment and see what Australia's like, see if it works for them as a couple.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that are going on. There's a few more things going on at the end of the year, but for now, that's enough. And please get involved. Please be praying. Please be excited. And please come. I think these events will bless both of our churches.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Riley, thank you for all you're doing. He is a gift of God to me and to our churches here in Australia. So if in the future you get emails from Riley or we're running an event and it's him getting up and not me, now you know why. He is really leading the line here in Australia and I couldn't be more excited about it. God bless you guys. Please pray for him.
Thank you, guys.